My husband's family insisted our wedding be in their language, so I wouldn't understand a word. You don't need to know, his sister laughed. My husband murmured, it's just a tradition. So I let them plan it, and on the wedding day, they heard a shocking announcement that left them speechless. I, 32 female, am American. Born and raised in Oregon. About 4 years ago, I moved to Florence, Italy to teach English. That's where I met my now ex-husband, Luca, 34 male. He was funny, polite, kind, at least in the beginning. He spoke great English, and we hit it off quickly. After 1.5 years of dating, he proposed. I said yes. At first, I thought I was marrying into a big, warm Italian family. I wasn't expecting to be wrapped in open arms, but I thought they'd at least try to include me. They didn't. Luca's family is from a town in the Veneto region, about 2 hours north of Venice. They speak a dialect of Venetian that's very different from standard Italian. I understand and speak decent Italian, but Venetian? That might as well be a different language. When we started planning the wedding, I brought up the idea of having the ceremony in both English and Italian. My parents and a few close friends were flying in from the US, and I wanted them to feel included. That's when things started to go weird. Chiara, Luca's sister, interrupted me mid-sentence. She laughed and said, "Oh no. It has to be in our dialect. That's how it's always been." I asked, "Can we do a translation or at least parts in English for my family?" She looked at me and said, "You don't need to know. You'll get the general idea." I looked at Luca, expecting him to say something. He didn't. He just said, "It's just tradition. You'll understand the important parts." I felt uncomfortable. I didn't like being dismissed like that. But Luca seemed so sure it was normal, and I didn't want to start drama. I told myself it's just a wedding. One day. I regret thinking that now. As soon as the language decision was made, I was shut out of everything. Every planning meeting was in Venetian dialect. I'd sit there, smiling like a fool while everyone spoke around me. When I asked questions, they'd say, "Don't worry, we've got it under control." Chiara made a joke once, "You'll be surprised. Just show up in the dress." And they laughed. Even my name wasn't used on the invitations. Instead, they wrote, Luca e la straniera. Translation, Luca and the foreigner. My family asked me if it was a joke. I didn't have an answer. When I confronted Luca, he said, "It's just a funny nickname. My mom likes it." They're not being mean. But they were. At every turn, I was reminded that I wasn't part of the family. That I was being tolerated, not welcomed. About a month before the wedding, I noticed Luca had changed. He stopped talking about the honeymoon. He wasn't affectionate. He seemed stressed, distant, short with me. I chalked it up to nerves. I didn't want to be paranoid. But I had this gut feeling that something wasn't right. Then my best friend Cassie came to visit. She's fluent in Italian. Not the dialect, but she understands a lot. She came with me to one of the final planning meetings. We sat at the back while they went over details.